Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Kofi Bartels.
Welcome back to the show. Still in the studio and still on the hot seat is Dr. Dakuku Peterside. He is the minute past APC Guba candidate in Rivers State, and we're still talking about several issues. We've talked about the Elections Petition Tribunal, which is currently sitting in Abuja. We've also talked about local government elections as well. Moving on to other issues, but people have criticized the moving of the Elections Petition Tribunal to Abuja. Some said this is to play a fast one on the incumbent administration in Rivers State, and I mean the APC is now holding sway in Abuja. So take this away from where the PDP is and take it to where the APC has some say and some power, and let's see what's going to happen. Don't you think that for the benefit of Rivers people, for people to see this as a transparent process, that tribunal should relocate to Port Harcourt?
But Kofi, it's important to also say that Rivers Tribunal is not the only one sitting in Abuja. I'm sure you are aware that Akwa Ibom Tribunal is sitting in Abuja. You're also aware that Yobe, Borno, Adamawa, and Taraba tribunals are all sitting in Abuja. On the whole, there are 7 or 8 tribunals sitting in Abuja in areas where they've identified as security hotspots, where they have security challenges. We did not apply that the tribunal be moved to Abuja, neither did our opponents in the PDP. It's a decision of those who set up the tribunal. They looked at the security, read the environment, looked at the context, and decided that the tribunal should sit in Abuja. So they are in better position to explain and answer the question why the tribunal is sitting in Abuja. I'm not in position to do that at all. I didn't apply for the tribunal to be moved to Abuja.
All right. Now, you have criticized the governor of Rivers State for his running of this. I mean, he's been in power for 1 month.
More than 1 month.
Yeah, more than 1 month. More than 1 month. I mean, we've seen several initiatives of the current governor, His Excellency Governor Yeso Wike. Why your criticism? I mean, you've had some pretty harsh things to say about the way he's running Rivers State.
Well, my original position was to be laid back, take the back seat, and watch from the sidelines what's going on. But I felt I would do a lot of disservice to Rivers people if all of us keep quiet and allow the state continue to move like a ship without rudder. Move like a ship without rudder, rather. Now, and I said I have a lot of concerns, and these are the same concerns shared by a lot of Rivers people. I've had cause to interact with in course of my political exploration. I've had cause to interact with a lot of Rivers people. And they've had concern about a lot of dishonesty around the government. Government at one time said, oh, we met an empty treasury. At another time they said, yes, in this account we found 1.8 billion. Another account we found 1 billion. Eventually, they've been talking about where they found money here and there. But the same government that said we met a totally empty treasury. No government earns the trust of the people when you're dishonest. The same government said we have reintroduced Operation Zero Portal, an initiative I started several years ago when I had the privilege of serving as Commissioner for Works. And that we're going to engage 2 firms, Julius Major Nigeria Limited and CECC and all that, the Chinese firm, the Chinese, to do the Operation Zero Portal to fix potholes in the city. And we thought, okay, perhaps that's heartwarming. But we've gone around the city, we've seen that many local companies are the ones fixing the potholes. Is it that Julius Major subletted this contract to the local firms, or CECC subletted to the local firms? There's a lot of issues there, and we thought that was unfair to Rivers people, to try to hoodwink them, to deceive them.
Okay, but
I can go on and on and on. I can cite 10 instances
go on.
My government has been very dishonest.
Continue.
My government said it's going to borrow 30 billion naira, or has gone ahead. It got the approval of the State House of Assembly to borrow 30 billion. And the question is, what are you going to apply this 30 billion to. He said to pay pensions. Now, in the mainstream ministries, which was the only one ex-Governor Amechi was owing, or the administration of ex-Governor Amechi was owing, mainstream ministries now spends about 1.4 billion, about 1.4, a little more than 1.4 billion every month to service pension. Assuming without considering that Governor Amechi's administration was owing 3 months, or they were in 3 months arrears of pensions, 1.4 approximately to 1.5 a month, that will give you 4.5 billion. Now, if you say you're going to do, apart from servicing pensions, arrears of pensions, the remaining fund will be spent to fix pothole. Now, are you telling me that if you take away 4.5 billion from 30 billion, you will have 25.5 billion? Are we saying we spend 25.5 billion fixing potholes?
No, but let's be fair. He's not talked about just potholes. He talked
about potholes. He talked about pensions.
Of course, we have had salaries, for instance.
What salary has he paid?
We've had salaries.
Did the state get allocation?
We had 2 months' salaries.
Did the state not get allocation?
Well,
are we not aware that there's what they call the bailout given by the Buhari administration?
That came out.
How much is the salary?
That came out.
How much is the allocation that came in?
Dr. Peterside, the allocation and the salaries came after the loan had been taken. True or false?
No, not quite correct.
No. The bailout fund came after the loan had been.
Yes, the bailout fund, but not allocation. Bailout fund, not allocation.
Yeah, approved by the state.
That's the bailout fund.
And the allocation came after the first.
You're right.
Has been approved.
You're right.
True. All right. So then the argument can hold.
No.
Secondly,
secondly,
there's several agencies and several bodies that need to be funded.
He didn't tell Rivers people that.
Were you at the House of Assembly when the presentation was made?
We watched them and we listened to them.
Do you have the document?
We do.
He presented.
I do.
All right. Can you list all the things he said?
Clearly, the focus were 2 things.
No, but all the things he said. Okay. All right. We'll try and get that information. Good. So what are the other things you have against this particular government? Things that you think are not right?
Now, we thought we had arrested insecurity in our state. It's deteriorating at an incredible rate. Kidnapping is on the increase. Armed robbery is now rooted in our state. Proliferation of arms is taking a new dimension. And government is steadily doing nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Not to our knowledge. And I've been consistent that the most important reason for government, apart from law and order, is security.
But the governor of Rivers State has said that he has agreed to release some support to the police to help them arrest the security situation in Rivers State. And then this didn't start when Governor Wike became governor.
It got worse under Governor Wike.
All right. You have statistics to back that up.
Of course. And I've been running a statistics.
So how is it the governor's fault? I mean, police is not on the governor's list. It's an exclusive thing. It's on the exclusive list, not on.
Governor Wike, whoever is governor, owes Rivers people a responsibility to protect lives and property. Is that correct?
And he has said he is determined to do that in conjunction with the police.
And we're not seeing any action in that direction.
He has said that he is about to release or has ordered the release of some funds. I can't remember quite the word, but money will be going to the police to help them, shut themselves up and support what's coming from the federal government.
In the situation we find ourselves, security should be the #1 priority of government.
Let me ask you a question, Dr. Peterside.
And no other directive.
Dr. Peterside, you're an APC man. You're a co-APC man.
Correct.
Boko Haram attacks have increased. They've spiraled out since President Buhari assumed the throne. Before Dr. Jonathan was removed or he lost election as president, we saw that, whether it was a deliberate move, I don't know, but those attacks kept reducing. The soldiers, the Nigerian forces, began to record some successes. Buhari's president now, all of a sudden, we're having explosions in Kaduna State of all places. We're having explosions in Jos of all places. And it's going higher and higher and higher than it was during and after the election, or during Dr. Jonathan's last days. We therefore say Buhari is to blame for that.
Now, Kofi, we're not saying that these things may not happen. What we're concerned about is the response of government at any level. What has been the response of Rivers State government? Flat, zero, none. What has been the response of President Buhari? He's been proactive. He's taken a lot of steps, and he's on top of the situation. He feels very concerned about it, and that inspires our people. That's the difference.
All right. Do you have some
We
other...
expect that a government led by Nyesom Wike should be on top of the situation, should be very concerned. There's not a single statement made by government to show that they're concerned about the deteriorating security situation in Rivers State. And I'm worried about that.
All right. All right. Are there other issues that you've observed, or these are the major ones? You've talked about the loan. You've talked about empty coffers, but money still found. Operation Zero Portal, not just better. Are there other issues apart from these four you've noted out?
And I've said clearly that in 6 weeks, viewing the government, it appears that they are not prepared to govern. Now, recall that during the campaigns, there were these issues about Nyesom Wike's team copying our blueprint, the roadmap to prosperity, and they denied it. They said they didn't copy our blueprint, they initiated their own blueprint, and all of that. We're not interested in that. When they came to government, we thought they would begin to roll out, not just programs, the policy trust of their government. Kofi, till today, if I ask you or ask any other Rivers man that works on the street, what is the policy trust of this government on the area of education, in healthcare, in agriculture?
He's come up with one policy for us. He said, for instance, they're going to bring back the boarding schools. He's visited several far-flung communities, rural communities. He said, for instance, they will bring back the boarding schools. That's one thing. That's one thing. So I don't know, but some may point again to Buhari again. I mean, your man, he's an APC president. He hasn't even appointed all his ministers, and some will say he's being slow. Nigerians haven't seen any major policy movement on his part, so don't think it's a bit too early. You know, it's just over a month. Isn't it too early to start judging a governor or a president, just because he's been in power for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks? Isn't it too early?
There's an African maxim that says that you know how well a child will dance with the very first step. Kofi, have you heard that maxim before?
No, I haven't.
And if a child starts with 40 steps, then it doesn't inspire hope. That's the case we have here, where the government has taken every step in the wrong direction on reverse gear.
Okay.
And you expect us to get results?
Okay.
That'll be expecting too much.
We'll be picking some more calls shortly. Now, you have said, let me go back to the issues you raised. Let's tackle them one by one. Empty coffers, but money still found. Now, this same party you're part of, the APC, and I'll keep going back to the federal government, said they made empty coffers at the federal level. But they still were able to raise some monies for a bailout package. They raised monies to help victims of Boko Haram. They've raised monies to pay salaries and all that. Now, isn't it the same thing? Maybe they came to make, they now saw some monies after saying empty coffers, and later some monies came from somewhere. So don't you think at the end of the day, what counts is that they have come out to be honest to the people to say, hey, all right, this is what we found. This is another one we found here. This is what we found. And they're being honest to say what they saw on ground.
Now, the difference between a dishonest man and an honest man is a man who, if he gives you wrong information and finds out that he gives you wrong information, comes out to apologize to say, I gave you wrong information. I found that the truth, this is the true position. Now, trying to compare the APC-led federal government to Rivers State government led by Nyesom Wike is absolutely unfair. It's like comparing apples and oranges. Now, the APC-led federal government did not say we met an empty treasury. That's not the context. You need to look at the context. Now, when you take statements out of context, you get a wrong inference. Now, but speaking specifically about the LNG funds, I'm sure you are aware that the LNG funds came in June. Kofi, are you aware that the LNG funds came in June? This fund you are referring to was remitted in June. Now, in the case of Rivers State government, at the time of handover, Governor Nyesom Wike received handover notes from different ministries, coordinated by the ex-deputy governor, who was a go-between between Governor Amechi's government and Nyesom Wike's government. He was officially appointed to liaise between the incoming government and the outgoing government. They availed themselves of all the handover notes from different ministries and from the finance departments of both government house and of course the Ministry of Finance. So they had all those records. So it was very wrong, very dishonorable for them to come out on air to say we met an empty treasury.
Well, I want to correct. Buhari said they virtually meant an empty treasury, and he painted a gloomy picture. After he met with journalists 3 weeks after his inauguration. Okay. No. Some Nigerians have said this. Okay. You know, there was money. You know, when Governor Michi left. How come such a huge backlog of unpaid salaries? How come such a huge backlog of pensioners being owed? We have temporary workers not paid for about 7 months, and several commitments from the state government were not fulfilled, financial obligations. If the money was there, why weren't people paid? If there was so much money, as your party claims, as you know, your part has claimed, how come workers are not paid? You know, we have been inundated, sir, with people crying for their salaries to be paid. I mean, since Governor Wiki became governor, several interest groups, unions have been pleading. They send us messages, they call out programs, please pay us our arrears. You know, and I think about 2 months for the state civil servants. Pensioners were owed several months.
2 months is what you're referring to.
Sorry, sir.
Several months of backlog of salaries.
I'm coming. Pensioners were owed several months. Temporary workers owed 7 months. I personally, I can play to you. I've spoken to River State students in different parts of the world who were given scholarships under the River State Sustainable Development Agency. They're stranded in different parts of the world. I spoke to a young Rivers girl in Canada. Why? She kept.
And that problem has been solved.
Well,
No, has that problem been solved?
I'm coming. All I'm saying is this: several of them. Some can't eat. Some can have been kicked out of their accommodation. They're squattering people. Some are actually, what I say, they've been kicked out of their schools. So if the money was there, how come your predecessor, or the preceding governor, Governor Michi, didn't sell all these things, and he left River State in debt? I mean, the new governor has started to be settling this when it comes. Not just that, we have those who were tasked with cleaning River State. You know, even before former Governor Michi stepped down, the roads were dirty. We invited the Riwama officials to the studio, and they said, well, the truth is they've not paid the contractors. And we've not recovered from that garbage problem till now. Thank God for Nigerian folk keep talking about these things. So all these things were left hanging before Wike came to power. And if the money was there, how come Amici did not settle these debts?
Thank you very much, Kofi. Whereas I can't hold brief for Governor Amici, record that Governor Amici is alive, head and healthy. Record that I didn't serve in that government the past 4 years. I was in the National Assembly. And so it's not possible that I'll be privy to all facts on what transpired in government. But I'd like to share with you what I know about government. Government is an institution. It runs on procedures and processes. Government is one institution where you can't wake up one morning and do what they call vermin, move funds from this subhead to that subhead. Government operates on what is called budget. And so at the beginning of every year, there's a budget for that year. And it is specified in that budget where the funds will come from and how to apply the funds. Now, if funds are meant to fix road, you need to go back to House of Assembly before you veer that fund from fixing road to paying salaries. Government is not motorbike business. Now, on the issue of funds, it's a possibility that most of the funds you're talking about came in the last month of Governor Amechi's administration. As a responsible man, will he have stolen the funds? Now, mind you, intelligent revenue is what in quote now swept. Is swept at the end of every month. Perhaps the government, I said, I said I'm not holding brief for this government, for Governor Amechi's government. Perhaps these funds came in as intelligent revenue that ought to be swept at the end of the month. Another thing I need to also, so That's one dimension or one possible scenario. Another important thing I need to correct is the fact of what was being owed by government. Government was not owing pension of parastatals. It was owing pension of the mainstream ministries. Government was not owing more than 2 months' salaries. The same government that was being strangulated by the Jonathan administration at the same time. They just didn't even have access to their own funds. Buddha has been liberal. He doesn't care whether you're APC or PDP. He obeys the constitution. He believes in the rule of law. If you're entitled to fund, he gives you the fund. Jonathan didn't behave that way. And so Malaysia's government was literally stifled.
All right, we'll be making more of your calls very shortly, but let's come to this issue of the zero pothole. Now, don't you think that more important than the idea or finding out whether Julius Berger is really the one on site, whether CECC, the Chinese company, is really the one on ground? Don't you think more important than that is the fact that at least the potholes that were left by Governor Michi's government are being filled by Jens Enrique's government?
I don't really care who is fixing potholes. But what I ask for and what I care for is honesty. We should be honest with Rivers people. That we have engaged a combination of foreign contractors and local contractors. There's nothing wrong with that. They should be honest with Rivers people. That's the issue.
All right.
Now, it's also wrong to say that the potholes left by Governor Michi. Governor Michi inherited some potholes. You always inherit potholes. This is a third world country. Now, roads are meant to last for a duration. If you construct roads, you expect that those roads should be maintained every 3 years. Roads will normally have a 20 to 25 years lifespan, depending on the design of the road. And so you continue to have potholes. Government will continue to fill potholes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that, I mean, I've been to several countries, and I know you have been to more, in fact, 100 times more than I've been to. And you know that, in those places, you do roads and roads are good. Now, what I'm saying is that there were potholes and the road situation, yes, government did wrong, but we must accept that it was a bad situation. Several roads, people are complaining, left, right, and center, and I'm sure if you became governor, you would have paid attention to that. So don't you think that the fact that he's doing these things, is more important? Whether they like that it was Julius Berger or not, but he's fixing the bad roads that he met, which were left by Governor Michi.
Dishonesty erases honor, erases everything you have achieved. And so let all of us try to be honest.
All right. Okay. Is there anything you would have done differently?
Several things.
About the roads, what would you have done differently?
Several things.
Give me an example.
The most important thing is that I would have laid bare to Rivers people my policy trust on roads. And my policy trust on roads will have revolved around public-private partnership.
All right, we'll come back. To be fair to you, I think you've said it. You're not part of the Amici administration.
I said in the last 4 years. I'm not part of the
administration. Sorry. In the last,
I said the last 4 years. I was in the cabinet.
All right, okay.
And so
but you must understand, Dr. Peterside, people will continue to associate you with him, and that's a cross you'd have to carry. It may not favor you, but that is the way it is. We'll be right back. We have to go for the business news, and then we'll round up with Dr. Dakuku Peterside, and of course, we'll take your messages as I promised earlier. Please stay with us.
Let's talk business.